We will be talking about a nursing theory created by Jean Watson, known as the science of human caring. So a little bit about Jean Watson. She is a nurse theorist who focuses on the science of human caring. She is known for her work in developing, maintaining, and exemplifying patient-centered care. She received her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from the University of Colorado in 1964. She then earned her PhD in Educational Psychology from the University of Colorado. She has 10 honorary doctoral degrees to her name for her extensive experience working in mental health nursing and caring science. A little bit about her career. Watson lost her eye in a golfing accident, and then shortly after lost her husband, who tragically took his own life. It was this experience of loss that led her to create her theory. Watson says on her website, I quote, "I had to learn to be still, to surrender to all, to let go, to learn, to receive, to be open to unknown mystery and miracles. It was the mystic and metaphysical spiritual practices and inner experiences that carried me through. It was losing the world as she knew it, losing her eye literally and metaphorically and symbolically, that she felt an awakening and began writing about her mystical experiences. This led her to learning about openness and love, and led her to begin formulating the nursing theory we are talking about here. She created the theory of human caring between 1975 and 1979 with the desire to distinguish nursing science as separate from other healthcare professions. She has since written more than 20 books on her teachings. Beyond that, Watson was a distinguished professor at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus, where she held the first endowed chair in caring science. She was president of the National League for Nursing and founding member of the International Association in Human Caring and the International Cartius Consortium. Watson is the founder and current director of the Watson Caring Science Institute. The core concept of Watson's theory is that nursing as a practice should be one of equanimity and should be done with deep, loving kindness for one's patients and, just as importantly, for oneself. This can be achieved by being truly present with patients and colleagues and by cultivating one's own spiritual practice. The core concepts include a relational caring for self and others, meaning a strong love for both self and others, and this can be achieved by creating a solid foundation that morally, ethically, and philosophically embodies love. The next core concept is the formation of transpersonal caring relationships. This concept is embodied by doing things such as heart-centered healing or caring, having an authentic presence, maintaining inner harmony, and practicing caring consciousness. All these phrases Watson has coined to mean that in order to embody the science of caring, a nurse must go beyond ego to a more spiritual caring. A nurse must make a moral commitment to protect and enhance dignity and truly respect or love a person as well as the self, and honor the needs of others the way one would honor one's own needs. A nurse must also practice and honor wholeness of mind, body, and spirit in the self and in the other. The next core concept talks about caring occasions or caring moments, and these are heart-centered encounters with another person. This is when two people with different backgrounds come together to share a human experience that is meaningful, authentic, intentional, and that expands each person's worldview and spirit so that each discover something new about themselves and new life possibilities. The next core concept is that there are multiple ways of knowing. This means there are multiple ways to cultivate one's own caring science through studying science, art, listening to one's own intuition, and through ethical, cultural, and personal and spiritual exploration. The next core concept is the reflective and meditative approach. Understanding one's own role in human caring through the reflective or meditative approach means increasing consciousness and presence to the humanism of the self and the other. By doing so, we can better determine who we want to be as nurses and the impacts we want to make for ourselves, as our organizations, and our patients. The next core concept is that caring is inclusive, circular, and expansive. Starts with the self, then expands to others, and then to the environment and nature, and then to the universe. As deep, pure caring expands, it changes the individual, then it changes the other, then it changes the environment through these caring occasions or caring moments, as discussed above. It ultimately changes a person's worldview for the better. Lastly is Watson's 10 curative factors, redefined as Caritas processes. These are 10 guidelines meant to help nurses put love or heart-centered caring practice into action. While we won't read through each here, the takeaway to note is the ideals of compassion, caring, healing, authenticity, wisdom, and love. We've included a full list of the guidelines in the additional resources section at the end of this presentation. So Watson's theory in relation to the nursing meta-paradigm person. Watson believes that in order for a person to be considered fully healed, only the total healing of the mind, body, and soul could accomplish this. She views the person as the recipient of care, and that this person includes their spirituality, culture, family and friends, and even their socioeconomic status. Watson's own theory of human caring aims to satisfy the person meta-paradigm by acknowledging that each individual has his or her own unique set of needs. She feels it is essential that nurses accept and validate a person's needs regardless of their customs and beliefs, as this is what defines the person. She also feels that in order for a person to be fully healed, a holistic approach which focuses on the mind, body, and soul is imperative. Each individual patient needs to be valued and understood, with the nurse always being authentically present. Additionally, each person deserves the right to have their dignity and privacy maintained and protected at all times. Watson's theory in relation to the nursing meta-paradigm health. The meta-paradigm of health refers to the quality and wellness of the patient as defined by each individual person. For Watson, the meta-paradigm of health means that the act of curing refers to more than just the healing of an illness. It also includes mental and spiritual healing. She ties in many of her beliefs from the person meta-paradigm and integrates them into her definition of the health meta-paradigm. Watson believes that although curing is part of the process of achieving health, it is much more than a physiological response. In order for health to be achieved, nurses must take a holistic approach with patients, one which is structured around a complete balance of the mind, body, and soul. She states that in order for healing to be effective, there needs to be a complete balance of a patient's physical, cognitive, and spiritual self, which ties closely back to her definitions of the person meta-paradigm. Watson also identifies another important aspect of health as the nursing assessment. It is crucial to assess patients based on their individual needs in order to maintain optimal health. Patients in acute healthcare settings, for example, may require multiple assessments daily, whereas patients in other areas of the nursing field may require less observation. Watson states that illness prevention is a crucial part of total health as well, encouraging nurses to consider the whole picture and long-term goals when working with the patients is part of this nursing meta-paradigm. She also believes health should be addressed on a day-to-day basis. This is due to the fact that health of a patient can change drastically in a short amount of time. Watson's theory in relation to the nursing paradigm, environment. According to Watson, the patient's environment affects his or her ability to heal. While caring for a patient, it has been proven beneficial to the health of the patient to establish a home-like environment. Providing a sufficient level of privacy allows the patient to feel more safe and comfortable. Noise levels should also be kept to a minimum. As a result, patients are more likely to feel calm and relaxed. Proper lighting and access to nature instill an uplifting feeling and reduce stress and anxiety. This can be achieved by opening windows or even taking your patient outside if possible. Watson's theory in relation to the nursing meta-paradigm, nursing. Watson suggests that establishing meaningful relationships to patients leads to patients feeling more comfortable and safe. A strengthened bond can also lead nurses to gain more patient information, which helps to promote better healing. While science and medicine are important therapeutic components, focusing on the patient as a whole and treating their physical, mental, and spiritual needs is equally important. Watson stresses the need for nurses to educate their patients. Nurses should be leaders who are able to teach patients to take ownership of their well-being and promote better health. So these are the 10 guidelines that outline ways to cultivate deep, pure, loving kindness toward the self and others. You can take a look at these. So the most important points we took away from our research on the science of human caring is that it is rooted in loving kindness. Starting with the self and cultivating legitimate respect and love for oneself is the most important aspect of being able to truly respect and love and care for another. That is a journey that every nurse should embark on in order to comprehensively care for patients, mind, body, and soul. So this is the website for the Watson Caring Institute. There is a wealth of information on Jean Watson and the science of human caring, if you care to take a look at it. And that is our presentation on the science of human caring.